Hi everyone, welcome back to my Animal Crossing New Horizons series. This is part 63. Last episode we went ahead and decorated couple different parts under the rain, which I think was super cool. Especially with the kind of decoration that I have been doing, I feel like my island looks amazing when it rains. In today's episode, we are gonna go ahead and continue decorating more of my island. I decided to go ahead and wear this outfit for today. I think it looks super cool and definitely want to use this one in the future. Anyway, let's move on out. Now you might have not seen Isabel's broadcast. That's because I have already opened the game for today and she has already gone with the broadcast. So you didn't actually see it. There's also no mail, mainly because I did not really order anything in the last episode. Anyway, here we are. I have been doing some changes on the island offline. Not anything major, but just planting a couple of trees as well as making some changes to the island design. I really enjoy talking to my villagers. So right here I was able to meet both Sherry as well as Mary. I guess I'm going to be going ahead and decorating one of their houses. I'm not sure which one. I remember planting some trees around Cherry's house in the last episode. Hopefully they are fully grown. Before we go on with the decoration, I'll go ahead and just visit Resident Services building to check out on Nook's Top. Thankfully, I still do have the 300 bonus miles running and I'm hoping to actually keep this going. I've definitely been just opening up the game at least once per day to kind of get this bonus mile. As for today, we have surfboard right here, which is actually a common item. I think you'll be able to find it in Nook's Cranny. We also seem to have a lot of seasonal items, which is pretty cool. I'll definitely go ahead and buy these ones as well. I guess I won't be able to buy all of them today. So I'm just gonna buy 5 of them today and the rest in the next episode. Pretty cool. Most of these are available until end of this month. So definitely I do have a couple of days to go ahead and buy it. Anyway, that's all for Resident Services building. I think I'll go ahead and check out Nook's Cranny next as well and talk to any villagers on the way. Here we are in the shop and most of these furnitures I do already own other than this retro fan here, which I think I'll go ahead and quickly buy. As for my outfit, you might see that I did change. This is a stay present that I got from my mom. It's the mom's apron and I really like it. So I just wore it up. I'll go ahead and remove it on a later stage. But here we are. Now right here we do have a fancy bathroom vanity, which I'm actually not sure if I do own. I remember having one in the storage, but I definitely have to check out that one before I do go ahead and buy it. While looking around, I actually remember that I was able to find this rope fence item in Nook's Cranny. It is a attached piece. As you can see, I placed 2 of them and I think it really does fit right in front of Flo's house. I was pretty lucky to actually find it because otherwise I would have gone ahead and crafted the rope fence, which you'll be able to get a recipe for from Nook's Top. In this case, I don't have to do this since I do have this special item. Sadly, as my pocket was full, I had to make my way back home and clear out my pocket. Right here we have a recipe for today, which is peach hat. I think this one's a pretty cool outfit. I think I already have the peach dress, so I probably will be able to match it. I haven't really crafted any of these items that actually require the fruit. I might actually wait until I complete decorating the island before I do that. Once I had all the things I needed in my pocket, I made my way to the place where I'm gonna decorate today. This is right in front of Kiki's house. And as you can see, I did actually go ahead and download a couple new brown paths. This one is a dark brown flowery path, which I really like. I think this is the equivalent to the dark green flurry path that I had before, and I think it looks super cool. I'm pretty happy to go ahead and add this path right here. Alright, this log stairs that I am decorating is actually going up to Mary's house, and that is also a cliff that I do have to decorate today. At the least, I'll at least be able to plant some trees and kind of have a pathway so that I'll be able to come back in the next episode and decorate around it. This is definitely a pretty huge area and I'm super excited to actually decorate it. One of the main reasons is that I actually don't have any sort of design for this path. I guess we are just gonna go ahead and try to kind of decorate it as we go. I guess that is gonna be the main key for this one. As usual, I'll go ahead and lay down the path just to make sure that I do have some groundwork before I do start kind of decorating all around it. Now, as far as decorating this cliff goes, I have two more paths that goes kind of right and left side of this cliff. The right side actually goes ahead down to the below path, which you might have seen me decorate before, and the left one actually goes on to kind of connect to the middle part of the other cliff. This is actually my main design for this cliff, at least as far as the path goes. But I'm not really sure how I'll be decorating the other parts. After all, we do have a pond right there, as well as a small area at the corner, which I definitely have to try and see how I'll be able to decorate. I also have another item here, which I'm actually not sure if I'll be able to fit. It's a gazebo with brown in color that matches the log stairs, which I really liked. Let's see if we can actually place it. There we go. That is perfect. I really like the way the path goes under it. As for this small area here, I'll just use up some of these shrubs as well as other fences that I do have. I also see that I'm actually running out of fences. At some point I have to go back at least offline and just craft some of these items, but let's see on that for now. The next thing I decided to do is go ahead and add a stone path here that is going to kind of connect to the gazebo itself. In between, I did get distracted by this balloon present, so let's quickly open it up to see what it is. Ooh, okay. I'm actually happy to take bells. I think it's a better gift rather than stones or the other items that you might get. I mean, if it is a DIY recipe, I'm super happy, but if it's not, it would rather be bells than bunch of irons or bunch of stone. Right here, I'm just putting up a stone path that is going to connect to this vine that is going down right here. This is just to mark out the section in this cliff, and it actually helps me go ahead and make some more changes all around this. I also need to break down the rock that you might have seen right there, but before that, let me start decorating from here. I have a couple more extra flowers, this time 2 purple flowers, which is pretty amazing. I probably will be going ahead and using it on my design as well. Sadly, I am running out of items in my pocket and will definitely have to try and use a couple of these. In this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and I guess plant a couple of wheat fields here. That would actually make it much easier. I also need to kind of clear up some of these items. Let me go ahead and use my shovel and plant a couple of them right here. There we go. They should actually look good once they do grow up. Probably I do have to go back and pick them up, make sure that they do get rain so that we have 3 of them in each of these plants. But that is going to be a goal for later. At the end here, I went ahead and used the garden lantern to kind of light up the small area. There we go. At the end, let me use a couple of shrubs wherever I am not able to kind of access any of these items. Also, I do have to have a path for this one, so I might go ahead and add another stone path around here. But before that, let me go ahead and make a bit more changes. As usual, when I am doing some changes, I like to kind of use a couple different items. If I don't really like the way it looks, I go back and change it up. There we go. I am adding another one of the stone path that is going to lead to those wheat fields. I think it will look good once we have all of these grown up. At this point, I actually realized that I did not plant any trees on this cliff either. These days when I am decorating, I totally forget about trees. Unless if I do have them planted in the beginning. Maybe this is something I might have to do in the upcoming episodes, where when I'm decorating a cliff, I definitely have to go ahead and plant a tree first before I go with the path. Anyway, since I did actually go with the path right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and improvise, try to use all of the items I have on hand. Pretty cool. Lucky for me that I had a lot of these smaller items which you can actually fill in one square. If not, I think it would have been a bit more difficult. There we go. I guess I could use the evergreen ash here. It does cover up almost 4 spaces and that is perfect. So there we go. That looks good. I'm also gonna go ahead and add some other plants to kind of hide down the path. But here we have the path itself. Now I have been seeing this in most of my recent videos where when I am decorating I do forget a small part of area which I totally miss and then go back to kind of decorate after a couple of episodes. I think this has happened when we were decorating Able Sisters as well as the front part of Flo's house. I think it also happened when we were decorating the museum. This is becoming kind of a trend for me. I think I did the same mistake over here as well. I don't think you'll be able to see it now, but once I do decorate this whole area, I'll be able to pinpoint where I actually missed it. Anyway, back to decorating. I finally realized that I had no trees on this cliff and had to actually plant a couple of them. At this point, there wasn't really too many spaces where I could have them, so I went ahead and dug up 2 holes right here. Both of them being once again a fruit tree. Definitely I need to redo the theme for this island. I mean, it started off as a cottage / village core, but now it's ending up to be a fruit island. Either way, I think it always depends on what kind of DIY recipes you do get when you are playing through that island. In this case, I definitely did get a lot of items that made the island kind of look more like a rainy season fruit island. So that is, I guess, the theme I'm going for right now. Anyway, right here I decided to make some more changes. Since I did kind of decorate the right part of this cliff, I am moving on to the left part. Initially, I wasn't really sure what exactly I had to do. I just went ahead and placed the evergreen ash here as well, which is, by the way, one of my favorite items in this game right now. It definitely goes very well no matter where you place it. I'm super obsessed with using it. I think each episode I go back to Nook's Top and just order a couple of them. In this case, once again I made the same mistake and I completely forgot about trees right here and just went ahead designing the path. As you can see, the path is much closer to the cliff that is right next to me. I think I'll be able to make the jump. Anyway, I will continue using all of the items I have right now. I guess my past self never realized that I had no trees in this side of the island either. Now that I do have most of the design completed, I decided to go ahead and plant a couple of shrubs at the edge of this cliff to prevent users from going too close to the cliff itself. I guess at this point, planting shrubs is my solution to stop any other player from going to places where I don't want them to kind of access. In this case, it definitely does help. Right here, I realized finally that I had to plant a couple of trees. So I went ahead, removed this evergreen ash and replaced it with a cedar tree. That one is actually my last tree. I definitely have to go back to the shop to buy more saplings. There we go. Those are the two trees I'm gonna have right here. I might have to come back to this area and redecorate it once I do have both of these trees completely grown, just to make sure that any item I'm placing right here does not actually prevent it from growing. Now that we have a perfect spot for that flower bed right there, I'll finally be able to complete this stone path, which will be kind of connecting to the gazebo itself. There we go. I might have to move it a bit before I do actually decorate. Now that we have almost completed this cliff right here, I think I'll be able to go up this log stairs and start decorating the house over there as well. As for the rest of the decoration for the below cliff, I'll actually go ahead and decorate it in the next episode. Right here, just got another new item from the balloon present. Now that we are here right in front of Mary's house, I definitely want to have a tree right here, right next to her house. The path will be going all the way around her house, and that is what I'm gonna plan. In this case, I did decide to go ahead and plant a couple of trees first before I did go with the path itself. Right here, I guess we have enough space to either plant a tree or use a item. In this case, I'm gonna go with this drying rack, which I did customize to kind of have a darker color. As far as the pathway that leads to Mary's house, there are gonna be two ways you can go to her house. The first one is from the back side of the house where we have the log stairs. The second one is through the vine that you might have seen right in front of the house, which is actually a shortcut to go to Resident Services building. In this case, I'm going to focus on the main path that's going to go to the log stairs. I also chose a new path here, which I was able to find. This is the plain brown path, which I believe I actually used in my previous island. I mean, there are just so many dark brown paths, it is so difficult to kind of differentiate with them. In this case, I just chose this one because it looks super cool. Anyway, I'm also going to go ahead and try to see if I'll be able to use a couple of these items around the path itself. I guess there is a third path as well now that I think of it. It's going to be right next to the square bathtub that you're seeing right there. There is another one of those vines that I do have, which will kind of be a secret path to her house. But let's see how we can actually accommodate it. While placing this path right here, the main thing for me would be to keep the path as close as possible to the house. So I do have enough space to have trees all around it. I think I'll be using the same design as this one to decorate Bone's house in the future. But this is going to be how the path will be actually going around. Now that we have a small space right here, I'll finally be able to place this plant. There we go. It does actually cover up the nameplate, but thankfully I do know which village's house this is, so I think it's still pretty fine. But in this case, I did decide to go ahead and switch it up with a flower. I also might have to break the other rock because it is blocking the vine that does go down to the lower cliff at some point. I also decided to go ahead and use the evergreen ash here. As for the square tub, I'm not really sure if this is the great place. I might be able to place it to the right side of the house on the way down to the vine. There we go. The current position of it is really good. Sadly, I am running out of these fences, so I either have to not use them or just go ahead and craft more so I can kind of replace it later. In this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a couple of items I do have in my pocket. As for the vine, we are once more gonna have a stone path that is gonna go ahead and go over there. I believe once we have all the trees and all the items placed down, this path is gonna look really good. Hopefully, at least that is what I am looking out for. Maybe I'll be able to get a better idea of this area in the next episode, where I'll be going ahead and completing both of these paths. In this case, this definitely looks good. I guess I can actually plant a couple of trees here, although I actually do not have the cedar trees still available, which is something I was really planning to kind of have right in front of our house. As for the small space right here, I might be able to add a smaller item. Now, since this area was something that I actually went ahead and designed just while I was playing this game, I really didn't know which kind of item I could use in this area. I'm just compromising using all of these items, and maybe in the future I'll come back to this area and make some more changes. For now, we're just gonna place all of these items right here. Just need one more item to cover up this area. Maybe I'll go with the garden lantern, but I'm not really sure if that would actually look good. I really wish I had a stone stool at this point, which would have been a really good item, but unfortunately I did not craft it, so we have to just try to work with the items we do have for now. Ooh. The bamboo lantern that you might see up there, I definitely have to remove it. Even though it is looking super cute, it's actually blocking me from going through, so I definitely did decide to go ahead and plant a pumpkin instead. There we go. I guess I don't have a white pumpkin, which is something I definitely have to collect. At some point we will be using all of these pumpkins, so I definitely do want to make sure that I have more of it. Since I didn't have any cedar saplings, I went ahead and planted a couple of fruit trees here. Hopefully I'll be able to replace them with the cedar tree at some point, but we are gonna go with this tree right here. Anyway, let me quickly go ahead and complete the rest of this path before we move on. Right here, I realized that I could not have the path right next to each other, so went ahead and placed a plant. I think we had one that we had saved. There we go. It actually looks much better right next to the house instead of in front of the board right there. Anyway, let me quickly go ahead and complete this path. Definitely, I do have to make sure that I will actually connect to the log stairs behind. Now right here behind the house, we actually do not have enough space, so I do have to be a bit more careful. I guess this is the only instance where I did place the house a bit behind and did not really get enough to kind of have this path, but we might be able to still kind of try to use a couple of shrubs instead of planting a tree behind the house. Recently, I've been thinking of using a lot of bamboo items, and I do have couple of those newer DIY recipes which I actually didn't try. So I might be able to go ahead and craft them offline after this episode and have them ready to kind of decorate both of these areas in the next episode. Alright, there we go. We are almost done with the path. Just need to make sure that it does connect to the log stairs itself. There we go. At this point I realized that this path is so much better than the flower path that I actually put down there. I might go ahead and actually use this one more than the other one, but let me know which one you liked more. Did you like the dark dirt path with the flowers or this one? Anyway, now that I have completed the path itself, I'll go ahead and place a couple of items that I already have in my pocket. There are only a few of them. Unfortunately, I am running out of the tomato or the other starters, which means I might have to go back and visit Harvey's Island as well. Anyway, that is all I had for this episode. We did go ahead and decorate quite a huge area today. And personally, I think it was pretty fun decorating these two areas. In the next episode, I will continue decorating and completing both of these areas with all of the other items that I might need to craft offline. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel as it does support me a lot. If you'd like to help me through Patreon, check out the links in my description. And I'll see you guys in the next one.